Meeting will come to order. This is the meeting of the New Smyrna Beach Animal Control Board. It's Wednesday, March the 4th. We're meeting in City Commission chambers. We would call the roll, please.
Member Hoffman, Member Engel.
Yep.
Member McGrady,
Present.
Member Strickland,
Present.
Chair Leonard.
Here.
Thank you.
Member Hoffman, communicate with anyone about this absence? Do we? Yeah, do we, yes. Do we have to, or need to designate this as an excused or unexcused absence?
It'll be unexcused.
Unexcused, okay. Before we get started, we want to make sure everybody's got their phones muted. I'm going to do mine right now.
And just make sure we're all speaking into the microphone as well, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I want to take just a minute, since this is relatively a new board, notwithstanding our last meeting, but we didn't really get a chance to introduce ourselves. We could. We want to start at this end, introduce ourselves, tell a little bit about ourselves, and any objectives or any insight you have on what you would like to contribute to the board.
I'm Jen Engel. I've been a volunteer over at Southeast Volusia Humane for 10 years. Worked in a variety of different capacities with them, from training of new volunteers and employees to dog walking to events. By trade, I was a teacher for the rest of my life. And yeah, that's about me.
Okay, thank you. I'm Rob Leonard. I was a veterinarian in New Smyrna Beach for 35 years, retired 5 years ago. Married a New Smyrna Beach girl that was actually born here. So I've been around here for a while. I've served on this board. I'm actually only the second chairperson that there has been at the onset of this board. The first one was Dr. Bark. So it's been over 10 years, maybe 12 years since I've been on the board. Have 2 grown children. One still lives here in New Smyrna Beach, and I'm down to 2 dogs and 2 cats. Your turn.
Okay. I'm Jane McGrady. I live here in New Smyrna Beach, and I have 2 beautiful ginger cats. And when I lived in Ponce, I served on a couple boards, but this is the first time I've done it in New Smyrna.
Welcome and thank you.
Julie Strickland. I've lived in New Smyrna Beach for 11 years, and I am the non-pet owner on the board. It doesn't mean I hate animals. It just means I love traveling a whole lot more. And I'm glad to be on the board. I'm looking forward to contributing to the community because I'm a social worker by trade, and so that's all.
Good. And thank you all for your service. This volunteerism is what makes a charming city like this charming, I think. I think it's good that we get to know each other, and who knows, we may get together for lunch someday. Just can't discuss business. Okay. Board members, you had an opportunity to review the minutes of our last meeting. They were included in your information. Did anyone see anything, any changes, amendments, additions?
No, I did not.
There being none, then we have a motion to approve the minutes.
Or motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
I'll go ahead
Aye.
and call the roll. I'll call the
can.
roll,
You
and
wanna
if
call
you
the roll?
vote in the
Okay.
affirmative,
Go
okay.
ahead.
Member Engel,
Approved.
Member Strickland,
Approve.
Member McGrady,
Approved.
Chair Leonard.
Approved.
Thank you.
Was there any old business that we were to discuss? None at all? Okay, we'll move on to new business. Taylor Harding, I'll turn over the nomination for chair
At
and the
this
election
point,
to you.
yes, per our new ordinance, we need to nominate a chair. So at this point, I will take any nominations that we have for chair.
Nominate Rob.
Yeah, I nominate Rob.
Are there any other nominations? Nope, then I'll call roll.
How was that?
Okay. So, Member Engel, this is a yes or a no to
Yes.
agree? Okay. Member Strickland,
Yes.
Member McGrady,
Yes,
and Chair Leonard.
Yes. Thank you for the show of support.
You can buy lunch.
Yeah.
Does that mean you didn't step back fast enough?
And we have the representative from the Edgewater Animal Control.
Ms. Roxanne Hicks has agreed to come and present to the board today.
Welcome, Ms. Hicks, and thank you.
I'm very tall, so I don't know if this is going to work.
Oh.
We'll make it work. I provided you guys with our statistics for 2025. It's pretty self-explanatory. Full year 2025 was the first year that we took from New Smyrna Beach. We took strays, surrenders, et cetera. We did 138 total intakes. 29 of those were returned to owner. 71 were adopted, giving us an 81% live release rate for the city of New Smyrna Beach, which is high nationally, but below what we would like to have. 51% were adopted. We returned 29 to owner, which is pretty good. Transfer out, I would like to just explain that to you all. We work with Sophie Circle Rescue, and we also work with Brevard County SPCA. So if we have an animal that's hard to place or needs something we can't provide, we often transfer to those two organizations. 6 of those animals are still with us. And the 4 unassisted death in custody, I think also should be explained. Those were kittens that came in without a mother and were too young to survive on their own. Bottle feeding, they failed to thrive, basically. So really, if you guys have any questions for me, I would be happy to answer them for you.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
The numbers that you've given us here, these are only on intakes from
New
the city of New Smyrna?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we do Edgewater, obviously. We do the city of New Smyrna. We do the city of South Daytona, city of Ormond Beach, Ponce Inlet, some areas of Volusia County. Who else do I do, Dylan? We do 5 cities in Volusia County and the county. So we have quite a bunch of intake.
So because, again, we have not met in a while, and I was not aware that the city of New Smyrna Beach had entered to an agreement with the Edgewater Animal Shelter. Or we have no program in place with Southeast Volusia Humane Society anymore?
That's correct, sir.
Is that something that's up for review from time to time?
We would be open to it.
Okay. I'm not suggesting that's necessary. This is new to me. I didn't know that anything about this. So if asked about it, I like to be an informed source.
Yes, I think right now we have a contract in place. I'm not sure the term of our contract, but at this point in time, our contract with Edgewater Animal Shelter. Contract negotiations with Southeast fell through, and so we needed to contract with a shelter, and Edgewater was the one that we were able to contract with.
Okay, that answers all my questions. Thank you.
Can you, I have a couple questions. Can you tell me, like, when you look at a map of Volusia County and all of the little towns that incorporate Volusia County, if I, as a citizen, need to hand in or turn over an animal, is there any rhyme or reason to where you would go to hand in an animal? For instance, if I'm in New Smyrna Beach, my closest, for the most part, is going to be Southeast Volusia up on Glencoe. So I go up there and they say, oh, we can't take your animal, you have to go to Edgewater. Okay, I get it. if I'm in Daytona, or like you said, Ormond Beach, I mean, that's way the hell up there. I have to turn in an animal, why would I not go to Halifax? Now I have to drive 20 miles down to
I can
Edgewater.
tell you if you want to know.
It makes no sense whatsoever. What are you basing, what is the basis for what townships you take?
It is based on there's several different factors. One, Halifax is no longer an open intake shelter, and they have priced themselves out of the market, and they will not take dangerous breeds. They
Okay,
will
but
not-
that's a recent
That's
happening.
Halifax. No, it's
Yeah.
not. It's been a while. Halifax
Okay,
says.
okay.
So did not contract with some of these cities, like Ponce Inlet. It's a haul for Ponce Inlet to come to Edgewater.
Oh,
but
yeah?
They
It's
do
a
it.
hike?
If you want to surrender an animal, you can pretty much go anywhere that'll take it. If you want to physically surrender one, we take surrenders all the time from out of our jurisdiction if we have room and we have capability to take it. As far as animal control goes, our contract is with the cities. We have a contract with animal control with the city of New Smyrna Beach, the city of Edgewater. So their animal control officers bring the animals to us.
Okay,
If you find a dog, say you're in Ormond Beach and you call us and you call around, if you call dispatch, which is what we should be telling people to do, is to call dispatch. Dispatch will direct to the correct animal control agency that would pick up the found animal and bring it to the appropriate shelter. So if you're in Ormond and you call Central Dispatch, they will call an Ormond Beach Animal Control Officer who will bring it to either Halifax or us, because they contract with both.
so Dylan, you'll go all the way up there and get that animal and bring it back down to
So
Edgewater?
Ormond Beach, no, Ormond Beach
No.
will respond,
Ormond has their
Ormond Beach
own.
will bring it here.
Okay.
Really,
New
the
Smyrna
city,
will.
yeah, the city of New Smyrna Beach only will respond to the areas within the city of New
Yeah.
Smyrna Beach.
Okay.
Different
So,
agencies.
so geographically, how is it broken down? I mean, wouldn't it make sense that the closest geographic area go to the closest shelter? I
I'm
mean,
gonna-
I'm just curious, I'm not
Yeah, yeah.
putting you on the spot, I'm just curious
yeah.
in general.
I'll
And I've had
interject.
this same
It's-
conversation with the people at New Smyrna, at Southeast
Right.
Volusia.
So
This
really,
makes
it's
no
up to the
sense.
cities. So the cities decide who they're going to contract with, work on basically business principles, and negotiate contract terms with those people.
So
Whether
it's dollars.
it's not just dollars, but that is a consideration into what the city does.
Okay.
The city negotiates with what they see is best for their agency. So Ormond Beach, after Halifax closed and no longer accepted, decided to negotiate a contract with Edgewater Animal Shelter.
So they
Daytona
could have
Beach,
just as easily gone up to Flagler.
they could have gone to Flagler, they could have gone to Southeast, they could have gone to DeLand if they chose to. They chose to utilize the services of Edgewater. It's really on the city's management, the council, the animal control officers, the city attorney when they negotiate it, and the city manager to make that decision. It's really not up to Edgewater. If Edgewater wants to accept the contract and makes reasonable terms, then they will accept the contract. But really, it's the cities who are going out to these shelters to ask them for prices, negotiations, what they have, and then based on that, if they can come to agreement on terms, then they sign a contract and move on. So it's more on the cities to determine that. I don't think Ms. Hicks has any control over that except for the cities that come to her. And if she's willing to accept it, she's accepting their contract.
So as the city of New Smyrna Beach, what kind of things were you looking for? Because I didn't have anything to do with the negotiations or whatever, but I'm curious, what kind of things do you look for in an animal shelter?
We look for veterinary staff, we look for price point, we look for what is most advantageous for the city as a whole. And those are just things, and the ability to negotiate on fair terms.
Okay.
You mentioned this call Central Dispatch.
Yes.
Could you say
If-
what's the number for that, or what?
We give
Who
out,
is that?
we give out the number 386-424-2000. That is the Edgewater number, but it goes to all the numbers. If you look up animal control for New Smyrna Beach, or you look up, it's going to say call dispatch. All those numbers go to the same place. They go to Central Dispatch in DeLand. And they know where to send, they know where you live by your address if you find a dog, where you found it, who to send.
Okay, and is the Edgewater Animal Shelter, is that oversight, be it via your city council, or is there a board of directors that
We
manages
are a
this?
nonprofit with municipal contracts, basically. We are the city's municipal shelter, the city of Edgewater. We are in their building, they maintain our building, and we manage it, basically. We manage the shelter, portion of
You
it.
say we management.
The
We manage it.
Edgewater Animal Shelter, Inc.
Okay, so-
It's a nonprofit.
Is there a board of
We have a
directors?
board, yes, we
Yeah,
do.
Okay. That's an excellent report. Thank you.
We have
I
a very
know-
good veterinary staff, I think that, and for example, one contract, Daytona Beach wanted a contract with us. For, give you an example of how it happens. We can't take Daytona Beach's volume.
No.
It's huge. So they had to do something else. We could do it. We only will take what we know we can handle with our veterinary and our kennel staff and our number of kennels. Because we are open intake for ACOs, so we cannot turn away anyone. So.
How many kennels do you have?
We have, we can hold between, we don't want to, but we can hold between 120 and 160 cats,
So big.
big, as far as cats.
Yeah.
And then dog kennels, we have 50 large dog kennels, and we have about 12 small to medium dog kennels. So we can hold about 65 dogs. And we have your Olive, your news dog.
We had a case involving a malnourished dog that,
Oh, yes.
I saw that. That
We have
poor
Olive.
baby.
so yesterday the court, county court ordered that the dog into the New Smyrna Beach's custody, and we've turned it over to Edgewater so that when Olive is available for adoption, she can be adopted. But the owner no longer has possession of the dog legally.
You got her fattened up a little bit?
She's gained about 11 pounds. We weighed her this
Yeah,
morning,
right.
as a matter of fact. She's gained about 12 pounds. She was running and catching a ball this morning.
Oh, that's great.
So she's doing really well.
That's great. Any other questions, comments? Very good, Ms. Hicks. Thank you
If
very,
you
very
have any
much.
questions, anytime, give us a call. We're,
Good. Well, we look forward to having you back with updates.
all right?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Rox.
Thank you.
We have a feral cat activity report. Officer Wolf.
Officer Wolf, are you going to encompass feral cat, trap, neuter, and release, and probably the ordinance all in your PowerPoint?
Yes.
Okay. Is that okay with the board for him to just run through all three?
Sure. There we go.
All right, good afternoon, members of the board. So first thing we'll discuss is the TNR program. For a brief overview, for those of you who don't know what TNR is the trap, spay / neuter, and vaccination of unowned feral community cats. During an 11-year study of TNR at the University of Florida, the number of cats on the campus declined by 66%, with no new kittens being born within the first 4 years of completing the TNR operation. TNR stops wasteful spending of taxpayer dollars, which is why we utilize it here in the city of New Smyrna Beach. Catching and killing cats has been a futile effort used by animal control agencies and shelters across the country for decades. To my belief, it is not the best practice, it is not a humane method, and it is not the best industry standard for us to continue to go down that path, so we've adopted the TNR program here in the city of New Smyrna. For the city of New Smyrna Beach, we partner with Volusia County Animal Services. Every Tuesday, they run a TNR clinic. It is first come, first serve, up to 50 cats. Residents will trap and transport the cats, and the city of New Smyrna Beach will pay the bill. So as a citizen of the city of New Smyrna Beach, you can trap one of these unowned feral community cats, bring it up to Volusia County Animal Services on a Tuesday. They will complete the spay-neuter surgery, and then we will pay the bill, which is approximately $47 per cat. We also have loaner traps available at the police department for citizens. If citizens need to obtain a trap to utilize for this program, they can come down to the police department and borrow one free of charge. We partner with the CCFAW, which is the Concerned Citizens for Animal Welfare organization. They are volunteers across the city of New Smyrna Beach that manage our community cat colonies, and they also participate in trapping the cats and bringing them to us, which we bring up for TNR service. Currently, we're working on researching further options to expand this service. Right now, like I said, residents can bring 2 cats per resident up to Volusia County Animal Services. And we are looking at trying to expand that with other agencies so that we can continue these efforts and get as much TNR done as possible. The Volusia County Animal Services TNR Clinic is located at 1250 Indian Lake Road in Daytona Beach. All of the cats must be in a trap. They cannot come in a carrier. They cannot come in a box. They must be in a trap. One cat per trap, and then 2 traps per residence. So if you live at, let's say, 123 Main Street here in New Smyrna Beach, you can go up there with 2 cats per residence, and we will pay the bill for those. Drop-off is between 7:30 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. with pickup at 5 p.m. And during 2025, we, the city of New Smyrna Beach, TNR'd 49 cats through Volusia County Animal Services. That does not include the friendly, handleable domestic cats that we turned over to the Edgewater Animal Shelter that were not fit to go through the TNR program. Some resources I've included here for you guys on references regarding TNR program is Alley Cat Allies, the American Humane Society, the University of Florida, Best Friends Animal Society, and the ASPCA. All of them have great links on their websites regarding TNR, what the benefits of TNR are. I could sit here all day and talk them through, you guys, but that would take the entirety of this meeting. Before I move forward, do you guys have any questions regarding the city's current stance on TNR?
Do the animal services in Daytona, you call them first or you just show up on Tuesday?
Yep, you show up on Tuesday. It's first come, first serve up to the first 50 cats.
Okay. Yep, excuse me.
Is this based on specific cat colonies that you know of? Or if an individual all of a sudden realizes that they have several cats hanging out in their vicinity, do they have to register with you as a cat colony or anything like that?
Nope, they do not. Any citizen of the incorporated city of New Smyrna Beach can trap one of these cats and bring it up to Volusia County Animal Services and get it spayed, neutered, vaccinated.
And just out of curiosity, how do you control, like, people trapping other people's cats and taking them up and getting them neutered or whatever?
That's a great question. Like I said, in the city of New Smyrna Beach, any unowned, microchipped cat would be considered a community cat. So if we get a call for a stray cat and we get it and we find out that it does not have a microchip and it is friendly and handleable, we'll take it to the Edgewater Animal Shelter, assuming that they have space for it. If it is not friendly and handleable and it is what we call feral, we would take that cat up to Volusia County Animal Services for TNR.
Okay.
Any further questions regarding TNR before we move to the ordinances?
I guess my only quick question is, it's still standard then to clip the ear? That's how you know?
Yep,
Okay.
yeah, so any cat that you see with a ear tip as pictured there is a standard practice for what would be an already TNR'd cat.
Thanks.
What happens if you all of a sudden realize that there's a colony of cats that cannot be returned to where they were taken from? For instance, with the new development that's going on, if all of a sudden there's a colony of cats that someone is feeding and somebody's deciding to build homes right next to them, you can't return the cats to where they were. Is there any provision for that? I mean, will Edgewater hold them as potential barn cats or something like that, or?
There is not at this time, however, that would be something I would be open to explore if that's something the board is interested in.
Have you run into it yet with
I have
all the
not.
new development? No?
Any further questions for TNR? All right. Some of the things that we are proposing for the ordinance changes, this is in the early stages. We do not have any formal wording. We do not have any formal verbiage to present to you guys at this time. Currently, these are things that I'm looking at changing and working with Shay, our city attorney, on going through. One of the things we're looking at doing is removing the fine structure. Currently, there is a fine structure for a altered animal versus an unaltered animal, so you would get a higher penalty if your dog was unaltered versus altered. These are also some of the only ordinances in the city that have a maximum fine set to them of $150 to $200, where every other city ordinance carries a maximum of $500. Changing the current stray hold from 7 days to 3 days. Currently, any stray, unowned animal that we get, we take to the Edgewater Animal Shelter, and they are required to hold it for 3 days, or 7 days currently, before it could be adopted. We would be looking to move that to 3 days, which is an industry standard practice. We'll be looking to add an ordinance for the mistreatment of domesticated animals. That will cover housing, that will cover dogs left in cars, that will cover dogs without medical care, that will cover any form of animal being mistreated. Currently, we only have one which prefaces unsanitary conditions, so we'll be looking to expand that ordinance. We'll make some revisions to the current existing tethering ordinance. Some of the provisions will make it safer for animals that are tethered. Some things will include making sure that they are having on a tether that is a certain amount of length times their body length, making sure they're not in an area where they could be unsafe, i.e. if they were on a dock and were to fall off that dock, situations like that. We'll be adding an ordinance for the transport of animals in motor vehicles. Obviously, as you guys know, summer is coming up, and we have a lot of issues with people leaving dogs in their car. We'll be looking to add an ordinance which will address that. The removal of the requirement for a permit to own chickens. Currently, you have to have a permit to own chickens in the city of New Smyrna Beach. I don't find that to be necessary. I think that we can go ahead and remove that, and as long as you're in compliance with the regulations of owning chickens, which would be owning 5, no roosters, certain type housing, I don't believe that there should be a permit acquired with it as well. And it hasn't proven to be effective, as we have several people with chickens inside the city of New Smyrna and nobody currently possessing one of these permits. Prohibition on the retail sale of dogs and cats. This will apply mostly to flea markets and pet stores. This is becoming a standard industry practice where retail stores, flea markets are not allowed to sell dogs and cats. We will adopt that as well. We'll add an ordinance which will address interference with animal control officers and or Humane Society personnel. And then we will also add an ordinance which will add prohibition to the declawing of cats, unless it is for a medically related purpose. Any questions with that so far? Like I said, these are in the super early stages. We don't have any verbiage or exacts on what we're doing with these so far. These are just some general ideas of things of animal welfare improvements that I'm looking to make to the city.
One thing you may want to look into is a state statute regarding declawing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's out there now.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll definitely do some research into that. And then obviously any suggestions that the board has of things that you guys would like to see, I'd love to hear as well too.
I just have a quick question. On the first part, I'm assuming unaltered or altered means spayed or neutered?
Correct.
And so it's the fine for if the dog or if the animal is or isn't?
Right, exactly. So currently the way that the ordinance is written is like, let's say you were to receive a citation for your dog being off leash. If your dog is fixed, the fine is less than if your dog is not fixed.
Okay.
And we'll make that a similar,
Okay, thank you.
consistent across the board.
And
Thanks.
I'll just add, that one of the reasons that was done, and I was part of this last ordinance draft, they were still trying to encourage the rule about having dogs and cats neutered by 6 months of age. And this was just another arm to enforce that. And we'll get to that as we go on, because I bet you're going to bring that up.
I have no plans to change that as it is currently, other than, like I said, adjusting the fine structure.
Well, I was talking about the 6 months thing. Yeah, well, the problem, there may be a provision now in the ordinances for it, but if it's not in the best interest of the animal, it doesn't have to be done. And now,
course.
there are a lot of studies out there now, especially certain breeds, Labradors, Golden Retrievers, large breed male dogs. The incidences of bone cancer increased quite a bit in that population that was neutered at a young age. So I think now the conventional wisdom is 2 years of age before neutering to help see if we can manage that issue that's come up, so,
Understood. We'll take that as advisement.
yeah.
I have a strange question.
Sure.
Chickens. Do we do anything about all these chickens running around downtown?
We do not. The current stance for the city and city leadership is that the roosters and chickens that roam Flagler Avenue are a staple of this community. A lot of members of the community enjoy them, much like Ybor City and Tampa. They are a part of this community. As of right now, we have no instruction or any form of process for removing or displacing those roosters. Even if we were to decide to take them, we don't have a current contract and plan of where those guys would be able to go. However, rest assured, we do, obviously, if they are sick or injured, we will address that. So if a rooster is sick or injured inside the city of New Smyrna, we do address those.
Or aggressive?
We currently don't have a process for that.
Are there particular people who feed them on a regular basis, or is that
Not
a
to my
city
knowledge.
thing?
Yeah, not to my knowledge, but I would assume.
They just,
Thank
Any further questions for proposed ordinance changes? Like I said, once these become more solidified, working with our city attorney, and we're able to get verbiage and stuff put in place, these will be presented to you guys at a later meeting. But this is some ideas of what we're looking at. Gives you guys an idea of my idea of what animal welfare looks like for the city. And then if you guys have any proposed changes, any things that you would like to see added, obviously I would love to take those into consideration. The goal here is to make New Smyrna Beach an animal cruelty-free city. We obviously take animal welfare very seriously in the city of New Smyrna, since we are the only agency in the county that employs a sworn animal control officer. Animal welfare falls very high on the process here in the city of New Smyrna Beach, and we'd love to keep it that way.
On that ordinance, one thing I would consider when drafting that is addressing people dropping off their unwanted and stray chickens on Flagler Avenue, because that's happened.
Yeah.
We all know it's happened. And
Yeah, I mean, they had to get there somewhere,
I was part of a sweep one weekend when Megan Wilkes was still on staff, and I forget how many we caught up over there, but they had lifeguards running through the parking lots over there with long-handled shrimp nets catching these chickens. So that wasn't exactly the best public relations program that I've seen. So, yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, based
It does
off
happen.
feedback we've received from residents of the city, it's 50-50. You know, it's kind of like TNR cats. There are people who love the process, and there are people who do not like us having unowned, roosters roaming around Flagler Avenue. Like I said, the direction of the city currently coming from police department leadership as well as city leadership is that they are a staple of the community, and we do not remove or relocate them in any shape, way, or form at this time.
I haven't seen any hens down there. Do you have new families of chickens starting up? I haven't seen that.
It's possible, not to my knowledge.
Yeah, I would think.
Wink, wink.
On another issue, we have any kind of a registry of, like, do not adopt, or people that have been convicted of animal cruelty?
There's new legislation that passed in the state this past year that addresses that.
Okay.
I do have one final question, and maybe you're going to get to it, but as far as like people that don't pick up after their dogs?
That's currently an ordinance.
It is an ordinance, and so is there any way to do anything?
Yeah,
Like-
absolutely. So any member of the police department who witnesses a person letting their animal defecate on private property and not picking it up could absolutely give that person a citation.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Any further questions for ordinances? Here is some contact information as well. I put the phone number, obviously the number that Ms. Roxanne provided is accurate as well. There's a lot of numbers that will get you to the non-emergency dispatch center. This is the one that I've always used, and it's also the number that's displayed on the back of our animal control truck. So I would advise, if you guys have any citizens who wish to report animal welfare concerns, to give them a call at 386-248-1777.
So are you going to be working on these new ordinances? Do you need help with that, or?
Not at this time. Like I said, other than any considerations or things that you guys would like to see, I've cultivated research across some of the prevailing animal control agencies across the state, and I've utilized a lot of their ordinances. Coming from Volusia County Animal Services, I used a lot of what Volusia County has put into place. So if there's anything that you guys would like to see or advisement like the Dr. Leonard provided, I would take those into consideration as well.
Okay, so is that something that we'll be looking at in the future to go over the changes that you've made?
Yep, yes ma'am, they will come to you.
So just so you know the process, he's provided me a draft that he's done himself. It's come to the city attorney's office. We have lots of ordinances that need to be fixed. Some that the commission has dictated that obviously take precedence, some that come from statute or new bills passed that we have deadlines on based on Florida statute, and then all the ones that we need to kind of clean up, which is this one. So it's kind of a priority thing. There's 3 of us who work in the city attorney's office, so we try hard to move these ordinances along, but rewriting a whole chapter can take a little bit of time. So right now I have it. We will bring it before the board as soon as I get it done.
Before I open it up to any further questions, Dr. Leonard, you previously talked to Ms. Roxanne regarding the switch from the Southeast Volusia Humane Society to the Edgewater Animal Shelter. A statistic that I'd like to provide you guys for you guys to be aware of: during the fiscal year of 2021 to 2022, The city of New Smyrna Beach spent $55,576 on animal sheltering services through the Southeast Volusia Humane Society during the fiscal year of 2025 to 2026. Utilizing the Edgewater Animal Shelter, we've reduced that number to $12,900, saving this city $42,676 in taxpayer dollars.
What was the main difference? That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
What was the main difference?
Our contracting service with the Southeast Volusia Humane Society when I started was at a flat rate. So we would pay them a fixed rate regardless of the number of animals that we intook. Whether that be 1 dog or 70 dogs, we paid the same rate. We were the only agency in the county that was doing that. So when my consultant Roxanne were about drafting up a contract with them, we went with the standard industry practice of $120 per intake.
Oh, per animal.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then I'll open the board. Any questions, comments, concerns I could address at this time?
So I assume, you know, there's a number of places in here where the Humane Society is mentioned specifically by
Yes,
name.
that's one of the updates that we will make to the ordinance. Dr. Leonard, before you go, it appears that you have an ordinance that Megan Wiltz potentially drafted in 2022. That never got passed, so I wouldn't mind taking a copy of that to see and compare to what Officer Wolf has done.
This looks like it.
Okay. And did you pull that off of Muni Code
It was in our information that
Today?
was provided to us.
today?
Yes.
No,
In the email, there were
not today, was it? I think it
Yeah,
was.
I downloaded this with the agenda material.
Okay.
Yeah, that's either 2020 or the old one. It's
I
something
think
that
it's
I.
2020.
2022 it was dated.
Because if I go to Muni Code, the most updated was 2019, I can
Yeah,
see.
that's the one that I have.
Okay. I'll take that from you and look at it. I'll see where it is and we'll track it down. Maybe something didn't get codified back in 2022, but I don't recall anything passing the county commission. That's all I can say.
Yeah, because when you talk about specifics about tethering, there's a huge section in here on tethering that has to do with that, with the length of the animal versus the length of the tether and all that. There's also a section in here on transporting animals in the back of your car or whatever and how to do it correctly, yeah.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay.
And this one dated May 12th, this is in, again, with our agenda material, May 12th of 2000, I was also a part of this draft. So I remember
Yeah.
when that was done, and there's a lot of things in there. If that's the one that's currently in place, there's a lot of stuff in here that's completely outdated. You know, we no longer license animals in the city.
Right.
We no longer have the sterilization program and the rebate program that accompany that.
Right. All right, so we'll
So-
just pay attention to what we've got and what should have been codified and what shouldn't have been
Yeah, I
codified.
will tell you, much of what Officer Wilkes put in this package was taken from the city of Ormond Beach in ordinance that they had just passed. So I don't remember if there were any what the big differences were, if there were any, but that was kind of our template. And I don't remember there being a lot of changes, but this looks like, and memory serves me correct, this looks like it.
Okay,
You can have my copy.
thank you.
Are there any further questions I can address with the board at this time?
Dylan, I had sent you a text message asking about the possibility of putting into place some kind of a program where you could take a dog from a dangerous dog designation and change that designation, maybe through training or something like that. I mean, if a dog is designated as a dangerous dog at like 2 years old or something, you know, the insurance cost and everything else to maintain that dog over the course of its life is something that most families aren't going to be able to do. So that dog's going to end up being euthanized. But if there's an opportunity for that animal to be retrained or taught, I wonder if that's something that we might be able to explore.
To my knowledge, state law doesn't have any provisions that would allow you to remove the declaration of a dangerous dog. Ms. Shea, I would refer that to you.
Yes, I would agree with Officer Wolf here. Because state statute 1 now is being pushed towards the declaring a dangerous dog and the penalties that come along with that when you fail to house them, protect them, do insurance.
Right.
There is no mechanism in state law to undeclare a dangerous dog, so our ordinance would go against state law. We wouldn't be able
So
to
we
do it.
couldn't?
until the state decides to act and say like, hey, a dog that has been declared rehabilitated, but I don't know that there's a agency that would be willing to certify that a dog is no longer dangerous, that now has been declared dangerous, just in case they do revert and do attack. Does the liability then fall on that agency who has now given you a certification they're no longer dangerous? And so I think that's a hard thing. I don't know that there's a recidivism,
Yeah,
a
well, I don't even
rehabilitation.
know if it's realistic,
Right.
but
I understand your
just a
point.
curiosity, you know, because these, especially a younger animal, you're looking at the next 12 to 14 years of its life, paying outrageous insurance rates and everything else, and most families can't do that.
Correct.
You know?
Any further questions from the board?
Excellent
Yeah,
report.
thank you.
Thanks, Dylan.
Board member comments. Any board members have comments?
Nope, I don't.
We have no public today, so I assume there's no public comment. Ms. Taylorhart, did you have any?
No,
Thing
not
to add?
not at this time.
Okay, could you just remind us, please, you have handy the date of the next meeting?
Sure. Let me pull it up.
So I have the next Animal Control Board meeting scheduled for Wednesday, June 3rd at 2:30.
Anything else?
I'll just add one thing is, if we were to get a dangerous dog hearing, obviously that may be scheduled in between now and June 3rd. But anytime we get a dangerous dog or something that has gained media attention, or because it is a small town, they do know you and they know you're on this board and they want to talk to you about it. They want to provide you any evidence. That evidence is considered ex parte evidence, which means it's one-sided and probably biased. The other side doesn't have the due process rights that they should have. If that were to happen, please tell the board at the time of the hearing. Jane Smith came up to me at the supermarket. She indicated that she witnessed the event and she saw X, Y, and Z, and then divulge that information out in the open so that the other party, if they are there, can confront you and say that's not true. Ex parte communication is always dangerous. The other party needs to know what you're relying on. At any hearing, though, you should only be relying on the hearing and evidence presented from that podium. Nothing that you take from outside areas besides common sense. Always rely on your common sense, but don't bring anything outside in that you've been told by any person. And if you are told by any person, make sure you divulge that so the other party has a chance to confront you on it.
Would it be good advice to just say if anyone calls you or approaches you with any information about any case which has a remote potential in coming before this board, say stop right there, don't tell me anything, it would prevent me from participating in the process, period.
Yes, that would be the best advice for sure. Sometimes you can't control it. Sometimes people just blurt things out. But if that were to happen, make sure you divulge it so that the other party is aware of it.
And if we get any emails already, we send them over to,
Yeah, forward them
To the
over to the
office,
clerks
yeah.
anyway and try to avoid reading them. You won't know the content until you start reading it, but I would move it on and then the clerk can provide it to the other party. But again, you should not be relying on that evidence anyway when the hearing is presented. You should be relying on anything presented by the officer or the other party or any vet or medical staff or victim up here and putting all that other stuff out of your brain. Okay? That's all I have.
I will say, I do have an update. Ordinance 1319 was codified in 2019, April. So that's probably the ordinance that you're referring to, that Officer Wilk updated. That is
I
our
will
most
look at the one
updated
that you have so
ordinance.
that I can track it down. I think
And
you
that's
have,
also what's in Muni Code, which is what
Yes.
he's referring to.
He's got a 2022 one that was drafted, so I
that's
will,
what, the date I have on it.
okay.
Yeah.
I'll
I
look
got
at-
that date off of hers. It didn't print on the top of my copy, so I was,
I will take the the other one and try to track down either through email or something like that where that ended. And then I'll provide it to Officer Wolf so that we can compare to what he's done, what Megan thought, and kind of what's going on.
Okay.
Okay.
You're good.
Great.
Anything else?
Sounds good.
Nothing from me.
Be no more business before this board. We stand adjourned.
Thank you.
We don't have to vote on adjournment, do we?
No.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's funny, so I'm not on social media or anything, and a girlfriend that knows I'm on